this movie.
Medic 42, respond emergent to psychiatric patient.
$20 said he's gonna be butt-ass naked.
There you have it. It's a draw. Shirt, no pants. That's like Winnie the Pooh.
This movie, specifically that scene, it looks like the most realistic depiction of life as a paramedic that I've seen to date. Sure, there are tons of movies out there that show life as a first responder, and there are a few movies out there that show life as a paramedic, and some of them are really good, some of them fall quite short, and some of them are just instant classics for their own stature. But this movie, specifically that scene, like, I can't tell you how much nostalgia I felt watching that exact scene and how much I started to chuckle. So I'm going to tell you a story. Now, keep in mind that when I tell you this story, I am changing names of people involved. I am changing dates, times, everything in order to protect both my partner and the people involved with the incident. I'm not going to tell you the city I worked for or the service that I worked for. It's just a story. Take it as you will. So one day, I'm working in the West End, and the West End is a unique part of the city because the station where it's positioned is right off of one of the major avenues in the city. And so there was a lot of foot traffic, and most of that foot traffic belonged to vagabonds, people that were unhoused, but also had ill intent toward not only each other, but other people, passersby, things like that. It was kind of an aggressive area of the city. So this station in particular was home to a lot of knock and talks. People would come and knock and say they needed an ambulance or say they needed a ride to the hospital. And so it was usually, one of those cases that when you got sent to that station, it was kind of begrudging because you knew you weren't going to have a lot of downtime. Even if there wasn't a call assigned to you, you were likely going to get a knock and talk and have to go and engage and do a call of some kind. Now, this particular day, Ryan and I are sitting there watching television, and we hear the bing, 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 bing on the big metal door. So Ryan and I kind of both sigh and pause at the same time. And then I was like, rock, paper, scissors. And he goes, rock, paper, scissors. So I did rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to answer the door. And it was one of the rare times that I ended up winning. And so Ryan had to go. So I kind of sneak around to this one section of the wall where I could still hear what was going on. Ryan went and answered the door, and this guy standing there, and he is just liquored, man. He is 3 sheets to the wind, and he goes, "Hey, listen, I need some help." And Ryan's like, "Clearly, what can I do for you?" And he goes, "My buddy, he's in the bushes over there. He's dead." And Ryan's like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Yeah, he's dead." So Ryan's like, "All right, I gotta go check this out." So Ryan walks out. I go to the door now to kind of keep it open and also have sightline on my partner. And he goes out and he's walking over. And then I see him turn around and come back with a sense of urgency. Like he's kind of moving. So I hold the door open for him and I go, "What's going on?" And Ryan goes, "Yeah, that guy is dead. I think we need to work it." I was like, "What?" He goes, "I think we need to work it." So we grab stuff from the back of our ambulance, go running out the side door, and we start working this code. We radio dispatch, let them know to assign us to a call and maybe send us a second unit. So we're working this guy, and as we're working him, this other guy, the guy that originally came to the door to ask us for help, started packing up all the belongings, not just his, but his buddy's stuff too. Like as we were doing CPR, he was reaching through the guy's pockets, and it seemed a little bit strange to me, but we were a little preoccupied, right? We were kind of busy. So finally we see this guy packing up all his stuff, and he puts stuff in a backpack. It's just kind of hastily pushed in there, and he puts it on a cart. And as we're still working this guy and tubing this guy, the guy that asked, he starts walking away. And so Ryan goes, "Hey, isn't this your buddy? Aren't you going to wait around?" He goes, "Man, I don't really know him." He just takes off, man. Never saw him again. And that was the call. What started with paper, rock, scissors, or rock, paper, scissors really escalated quite quickly. And that's the nature of the job. You can go from something childish, even churlish, and silly, and then it turns into absolute chaos. And so when I saw this scene, that was one of the first things I thought about, was all those little instances of those moments where you go from kind of being indolent on a couch to having to run a code out beside a bush while some other guy steals his stuff and takes off. Oh, man. Look, hey, listen, I know that the overall theme of that story, the realities of that story is quite sad. I'm not beyond that. I fully acknowledge it and I fully recognize it, but you have to understand that when you work in an environment where those type of calls are plethoric, you have to build a callus. You have to find ways to navigate through. And a lot of times, sardonic, or as we call it, black humor, really kind of seeps its way into your everyday so that you can navigate the different calls that you come across. It doesn't mean that I condone anything that happened. It doesn't mean that I am indifferent to the individual that ultimately didn't make it. It's just the way I've decided to tell this story and the way I've decided to live with this story is with a more humorous tone. You can judge that as you will, but just know that I do fully understand, acknowledge the realities of that story, but I also have to do what I need to do in order to cope and survive with being a part of that story, because that story is part of my life and part of my journey. So anyway, basically, I'm super excited about Code 3. I think it's going to be amazing. I think the fact that they're going to tackle some serious subject matter with a lot of humor and with two absolute comedic geniuses at the helm, I think it's going to be really great. I can't wait to see this movie. I'll put my full review after I go see it September 12th with my best friend Drew. It's going to be a really, really great time. So stay tuned to the channel and subscribe to the podcast, because I'll probably do a whole freaking episode about it and then tell more stories about being a paramedic and my time as a medic. Anyway, be well, be safe, and above all else, guys, keep talking to each other.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.